Recently, ArcSystemWorks revealed their next game to be released after Granblue Fantast Versus, and it's Guilty Gear. I have a huge passion for fighting games. I love them. I know most of my audience at this point is much more interested in my other passion of anime, so the majority of you will be disappointed to hear that we're getting a new Guilty Gear game as opposed to a Naruto game or a JoJo game or whatever. But I'd like to give you my take on why this game is still important to us as anime fans, perhaps maybe even as important as it is to all the Guilty Gear fans and the general FGC. Oh, and slight clarification, whenever I mention ArcSystemWorks in this video, I'm talking about the 3D team, the people who made Fighters and the previous Guilty Gear, not the 2D team, the people who made BlazBlue and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. ArcSystemWorks has proven time and time again that they are simply unmatched in the fighting game genre. NetherRealm makes fantastic games, and Capcom, they make games, but ArcSystemWorks is just on a completely different level. With Dragon Ball FighterZ, they managed to make an anime game that satisfied both non-competitive players and competitive players alike. Lifelong Dragon Ball fans, and even someone like me who is a general anime fan but doesn't feel strongly about Dragon Ball, was able to love this game. Both the presentation and the adaptation of the source material in this game is outstanding. And then Granblue Fantast Versus came along. And while my only connection to the source material is the anime, which is okay, so I don't feel strongly about the source material, but despite that, the game is breathtaking. On a presentation level, ArcSystemWorks is industry leading. And that's not all they've done to drag fighting games into the modern era. They are responsible for completely new universal mechanics that weren't even thought about in other fighting games. Some of the universal mechanics they implement I vehemently disagree with from a design perspective, but I would be insane to deny ArcSystemWorks the praise they deserve for designing mechanics that allow new players to perform combos that look really cool while the best players still rise to the top. That's something that's very difficult to do, not only from a design perspective, but from a practicality perspective as well. But why does this matter to us, the anime fans who would much rather see a Naruto game or a JoJo game or a One Piece game or whatever from ArcSystemWorks as opposed to a Guilty Gear game? I would be shocked if Bandai Namco and ArcSystemWorks didn't want to work together again in the future. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me to hear that production on a project like that has already started or is going to start in the next 6 to 8 months or whatever. Dragon Ball FighterZ was a massive success. The scale of success that Dragon Ball FighterZ was really hasn't been seen in the genre before, only being slightly comparable to Smash Brothers, which has had a 20-year head start on Dragon Ball FighterZ. But why? Aftermarket fighting game success seems to rely on 3 different pillars. Now, you can argue which one of these pillars is most important, but I think the most successful fighting games in the world will always have very high quality versions of these 3 pillars. Smash Brothers and Dragon Ball FighterZ have all 3 of these pillars. These pillars are gameplay, visuals, and a pre-established IP. Now, you can argue that Guilty Gear is now a pre-established IP, and perhaps that's true to some extent, but in order to have the healthiest game possible, we would want the highest quality possible of each of these pillars. ArcSystemWorks provides the highest quality version of the first 2 pillars, gameplay and visuals. You can try to debate that with other companies, but I think it's pretty fair to say that ArcSystemWorks is definitely industry leading in those first 2 pillars. And then Bandai Namco has a monopoly on that 3rd pillar. Their entire business runs on selling pre-established IPs from Shueisha. This is why every time we hear there's going to be a new game from ArcSystemWorks, I'll have my fingers crossed that it's going to be a Naruto game or a My Hero Academia game or a JoJo game or a One Piece game or a Black Clover game or something like that. If you're an audience member of mine and you don't care so much about fighting games, but you do care about anime games that happen to also be fighting games, and you're waiting for the next Bandai Namco ArcSystemWorks collaboration, maybe give Guilty Gear 2020 a chance. It's not going to have your favorite anime characters, but the game is visually outstanding, and perhaps it will give you a window into what a non-Dragon Ball ArcSystemWorks game can play like. ArcSystemWorks games evolve very quickly from year to year, so at least pay attention to Guilty Gear 2020. I'm sure there's a ton of Guilty Gear fans out there expecting Guilty Guilty Gear to return to its roots. Unfortunately or not, Guilty Gear 2020 I think is going to be a very different take on Guilty Gear. And again, even if you're not a fan of the Guilty Gear franchise, I think it's worth paying attention to this game to get an idea of where ArcSystemWorks' head is at from a design perspective. Because again, that changes a lot from year to year. I mean, look at Central Fiction compared to Cross Tag Battle, drastically different games. And already through the Guilty Gear trailer, we've already seen massive changes to what was in Dragon Ball FighterZ and from what was in Guilty Gear. And we've only seen like 20 seconds of gameplay. So I definitely think it's worth checking out. I hope you're looking forward to Guilty Gear 2020. Again, even if you're not a fan of Guilty Gear, I think it's going to be worth checking out. That's going to be it for me though. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you left a like on it. Helps other people find the video. Subscribe to keep up to date with content like this. My name has been Bilbzy and I'll see you in the next video.